Hey, welcome back to HumansAreKind TV. If you're new here, this is the channel where we share real stories, true events, that prove humanity is still beautiful. Today's story hit me hard. It comes from Cape Town, South Africa. It happened just weeks ago, in May 2026, and it starts with a man, a storm, and a decision that changed everything. So let me set the scene for you. Cape Town, one of the most stunning cities on the planet. You've got Table Mountain rising above the skyline, the Atlantic Ocean stretching out forever, and right along the coast, this incredible walkway called the Sea Point Promenade. It's about 10 kilometers long, and locals absolutely love it. Runners, dog walkers, families. It's always full of people. But what happened here in May 2026? Nobody saw coming. Because in May, Cape Town got hit with one of the worst winter storms in recent memory. We're talking violent winds, non-stop rain, waves literally crashing over the seawall. Streets flooded, power went out in parts of the city. And the promenade, that beautiful stretch of coastline that's normally packed with people, was completely empty. Or so everyone thought. Now, this is where our first character enters the story. His name is Chad Nathan. Online, people know him as Ginger with a GoPro. He's a photographer, videographer, content creator, based in Cape Town. But here's what makes Chad different. He's not just about getting views. Through something he started called Raising Hope, Chad had already raised over 1.2 million rand for people in need across South Africa. This guy genuinely cares. And what happened next? It would prove that beyond any doubt. So despite this insane weather, Chad laces up his running shoes and heads outside. He's training for the Cape Town Marathon, and a little rain isn't going to stop him. In his own words, "And I love this," he said. "I thought it would be beautiful to be on the promenade all by myself." But here's where fate steps in. Because this time, for some reason he still can't explain, Chad didn't take his usual route. He went a different way. Instead of running along the promenade like he always does, he took the pavement near the road, a path he'd never used before. And that one tiny decision, left instead of right, road instead of promenade, led him straight to someone who needed him more than he could ever have imagined. Because there, in the middle of this brutal storm, was a man. Sitting alone in a wheelchair. Drenched. Struggling to push himself forward. No one else in sight. Just him, the wind, and the rain. His name was Sidney Miller. And Sidney's story, even before this moment, will break your heart. About 5 years earlier, Sidney was hit by a car right there in Sea Point. The accident left him severely disabled, and despite everything, he never received a single cent from the road accident fund. He lost his home. He lost his independence. One of his legs was amputated, and for years Sidney had been sleeping at a bus stop near the Sea Point Pavilion, just surviving, day by day, invisible to almost everyone who walked past him. And I really want you to sit with these numbers for a second. 5 years living on the streets, after a car accident that was never his fault. One leg gone, and the other one scheduled to be amputated too. And zero support. No family nearby, no safety net, no one checking in on him. That was Sidney's life, every single day, for 5 years. And then, in the middle of the worst storm Cape Town had seen all year, Chad Nathan turned a corner and saw him. A man in a wheelchair, rain hammering his face, struggling to move forward, completely and utterly alone. Chad said later, "I could just imagine how harsh and horrible it must be to be out here alone." So you know what he did? He stopped running. He walked up to Sidney, and he said, "Can I push you?" And Sidney's reaction, "Man, this gets me every time." His whole face just lit up. He smiled and said, "Hey, thank you. Of course, Wherever you want to push me to, I'll take any offer you give me. Sydney told Chad he needed to get to the bus stop near the Sea Point Pavilion pools. And when Chad realized how far that actually was, it didn't matter. Not even for a second. He wasn't going to leave this man. So picture this. Two strangers, one pushing, one riding, making their way through 4 kilometers of driving rain and icy wind. And as they walked, they talked. Chad listened as Sydney told him everything. The accident, the hospitals, losing his home, losing his leg, the years of sleeping at bus stops and being ignored by the world. For maybe the first time in years, someone was really hearing Sydney's story. And by the time they reached that bus stop, something had shifted in both of them. Something neither of them expected. Sydney would later go on camera and say something that stopped me in my tracks. He said, "Did God send this man to me?" And Chad said, "What really got me was his eyes. The way he looked at me when I helped him. Almost like he couldn't believe someone stopped." Think about that for a second. Sydney was so used to being invisible that someone simply stopping to help felt like a miracle. Now here's where the story takes off. Chad had filmed the whole thing on his GoPro. He posted it as an Instagram reel. Just him, Sydney, and the rain. No script, no production. Just one human being kind to another. And by the next morning, millions of people had watched it. It was everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, the news. South Africa couldn't stop talking about it. And honestly, neither could the rest of the world. Chad immediately launched a back-a-buddy campaign to raise money for Sydney. And what happened next blew everyone away. Within 24 hours, by May 13th, 380,000 rand. Gone. Just like that. The next day, Chad and Sydney went on Good Hope FM together. Donations crossed 400,000. By May 21st, Sydney appeared on the Espresso Morning Show. 450,000 climbing. And by May 23rd, over 1.7 million rand. From people all over South Africa. And all over the world. Let that sink in. 1,700,000 rand. Not from corporations. Not from government programs. From ordinary people. Strangers who watched a video and said, "I want to help this man." That's the power of one act of kindness. It doesn't just change one life. It unlocks something in everyone who sees it. And it wasn't just the money. That's the part that really gets me. Aquazania and the Sweethearts Foundation stepped in and donated a brand new electric wheelchair. Not just any chair. One custom built specifically for Sydney's body, through a full professional assessment. Cape Union Mart sent him warm clothing for the winter. And this one special, Chad's own dad, Stanley, gave Sydney a brand new phone. The first phone Sydney had ever felt comfortable using. An entire country wrapping its arms around one man. And just look at the difference. Before all this, Sydney was sleeping at a bus stop. One leg gone. No phone. No support. No one. Completely invisible. Alone in a broken wheelchair. Alone in a broken wheelchair. After. Over 1.7 million rand raised for his care. A custom electric wheelchair. A new phone. Warm clothes. Medical support. And an entire nation telling him, "We see you. We love you. You matter." A second chance at life. All because one person decided to stop. And Chad put it perfectly. He said, from being invisible one day to becoming a local celebrity the next day. That was a lot. Sydney went on national radio. He was on morning television. People were recognizing him on the street, not with pity, but with love. The man who thought no one could see him, the whole country was watching, and they were cheering. And this is the line that stays with me. Chad said, "It costs nothing to be kind. Everyone can play their part in this world to make it a better place. It costs nothing. And yet, it changed everything." And that's the thing about kindness. It ripples. Chad's Raising Hope initiative had already raised over 1.2 million rand before this. Now, another 1.7 million for Sydney alone. Millions more people reached through social media. The Sweethearts Foundation is still out there, turning recycled materials into wheelchairs for South Africans who need them. One act of compassion sparked a chain reaction that's still going. And here's the full timeline so you can see just how fast this all happened. Sydney's accident was around 2021. For 5 years, nothing changed. Then, in May 2026, Chad goes for a run in a storm and finds Sydney on the promenade. The video goes viral. The campaign launches. The media picks it up. Companies start donating. And within days, over 1.7 million rand is raised. All of it. Every single bit of it. Because one person chose to stop. Now, everything you just heard in this video is real and verified. All the facts come from established news sources, News 24, Good Things Guy, briefly, The Espresso Morning Show, and the Sweethearts Foundation. I'll drop all the links in the description so you can read the full reports for yourself. And that's the story. Thank you so much for watching. If this moved you, and I really hope it did, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. Because remember what Chad said, it costs nothing to be kind. Everyone can play their part in this world to make it a better place. I'll see you in the next one. Stay kind.